Hope, often dismissed as mere wishful thinking, is in truth a force that can shape destinies and transform realities. In the quiet hamlet, nestled among gentle hills, the story of Amara illustrates how hope is not only a comfort, but a catalyst for change. Her life, woven into the very fabric of the village, was a testament to resilience and kindness. Though she lived alone by the ancient oak, her spirit was never solitary. It reached out, touching all who crossed her path. Amara's days began before sunrise. She would sweep her cottage steps, greet the morning birds, and tend to a modest garden. Her hands, though aged, moved with purpose, nurturing life wherever she could. To the villagers, these simple acts were more than chores. They were rituals of hope, reminders that tending to what one has, no matter how small, is an act of faith in a better tomorrow. Children often visited, drawn by the promise of a story or a sweet-baked treat. And even the busiest farmers paused in their day to share a word with Amara beneath the spreading oak. The village itself was a place of contrasts. Its beauty lay in the golden fields and cobblestone paths, but hardship lurked in the shadows cast by drought, illness, and uncertainty. Yet it was Amara's presence that kept the darkness from settling in too deeply. She listened to every tale of woe, every confession of fear, with patience and empathy. It was not magic that she offered, but something far more enduring, a belief in the power of one's thoughts and the possibility of change. On the night that Lira came seeking solace, Amara's wisdom shone brightest. Lira, worn thin by worry and the ache of missing her husband, was nearly overcome by despair. Yet Amara, with a gentle touch and a story from her own heart, showed her that hope is not a denial of hardship, but a decision to see beyond it. She taught that the mind, like a lantern, can cast light or deepen shadows, depending on how we choose to use it. The story of Kael, which Amara shared with Lira, echoed the very lessons she lived by. It was not the sage's words alone that transformed Kael, but his willingness to perceive beauty and possibility, even when all seemed lost. The river's song and the sun's rays became lifelines, guiding him toward renewal. This lesson, simple yet profound, became the cornerstone of Amara's advice. Focus on what remains, not what has been lost. In doing so, the heart finds resilience, and the spirit discovers new paths. Lira, inspired yet uncertain, took Amara's counsel to heart. She began each day with a whisper of hope, a fragile promise to herself and her children. The transformation was gradual but unmistakable. Where once her steps were heavy with dread, now they carried a determination born of possibility. She found small ways to provide for her family, and her spirit, once clouded by fear, grew steadier. The arrival of Torin's letter was not the end of her struggles, but it was proof that hope, nurtured through action and positive thought, could yield real change. Amara's influence rippled outward, touching every corner of the village. Farmers facing barren fields learned to share resources and support one another rather than withdrawing into isolation. Weavers pooled their skills, creating goods that could fetch higher prices at the market. Traders, once wary of competition, began to collaborate, finding strength in unity. The village did not become immune to hardship, but its people became resilient, buoyed by the conviction that tomorrow could be brighter. The ancient oak beside Amara's cottage became a symbol for all. Its branches, surviving storms and seasons, reminded them that endurance is possible and that new growth follows even the harshest winters. Amara herself often spoke of the tree's roots, hidden yet strong, anchoring it through every challenge. She encouraged the villagers to nurture hope as they would a root system, quietly, persistently, and with faith that it would sustain them through adversity. Stories passed from mouth to mouth, and each told of hope rekindled. A mother who found work after months of searching, a child who recovered from illness, a family who rebuilt after loss. And in each tale, Amara's quiet wisdom echoed. Choose thoughts of possibility, act with courage, and let hope guide you. The villagers learned to greet each day not with dread, but with the question, what promise does this day hold? This shift in perspective changed not only individual lives, but the spirit of the community itself. Hope, as Amara taught, is not naive optimism. It does not ignore pain or pretend that all will be easy. Rather, it is the decision to look for light, even when the world seems dim. It is the courage to move forward, to take action, and to believe in the possibility of change. It is a force that, when shared, multiplies, lifting not only oneself, but others who are struggling. As the years passed, Amara's legacy grew. Children who once played at her feet became adults who carried her teachings into their own families. The village, once marked by the weight of hardship, became known for its resilience and generosity. Visitors remarked on the warmth and unity they found there, and the legend of the wise woman beneath the oak spread to neighboring towns. In time, Amara herself grew frail, her movements slower, her voice softer, yet her spirit remained undiminished. She continued to greet each sunrise, to listen, to counsel, and to inspire. Her final days were spent surrounded by those whose lives she had touched, each one carrying a spark of her hope within them. And so, the lesson endures. Hope is not the absence of struggle, but the presence of possibility. It is the quiet strength that allows us to weather storms, to find meaning in the small joys, and to build a future from the ashes of disappointment. Whenever you find yourself facing darkness, remember Amara's wisdom. Choose to see the light, nurture hope within your heart, and let it guide your steps. For in doing so, you become the beacon, illuminating the path for yourself and for those who walk beside you.